Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm Donnie, and today I'm going to check the valve clearances on this 2015 Honda CRF250X, so stick around. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the seat. So the next thing I need to do is remove the tank. Now the last thing I need to do before I can remove the tank is disconnect the gas line from the carburetor. Before I do that, I make sure the valve's in the off position and I've got a paper towel to catch any excess that comes out of the line. Now once we've got the tank off, you want to clean up this area as best you can because you don't want any dirt getting underneath the valve cover. The next thing we're going to do is disconnect the coil pack and remove the spark plug. So to disconnect this, just pull this cover back and then zoom that in a little bit. So you're just going to pull this rubber boot back. There's a little plastic tab here, so you depress that tab and disconnect. Next thing you're going to do, pull the coil pack up off of the plug. I'm going to stuff a paper towel down in there so I can clean this off a little better before I remove the plug. I'm just going to use some compressed air, make sure there's no dirt left in there. I'm going to remove the two bolts holding the valve cover on. Now I can remove the valve cover. So now I need to make sure the engine's at top dead center so I can measure the valve clearances. And to do that I need to remove this plug. This is a 10mm hex head. So now I need to rotate that gear using an 8mm hex head until the marks align. You can see there's a mark here on the crankcase, and then there's a dot on one of the gear teeth that we're going to align with that mark. There's the source of all the racket. So there you can see the tooth that's got that mark on it, and it's lined up with that arrow to let you know that the engine's at top dead center. But you also have to verify that you're on the compression stroke. You can do that by wiggling the exhaust rocker on. When you feel some play in it, you'll know that you've got the engine in the right spot to check the valve clearance, as well as these cam lobes are going to be facing up and back. So here's what the valve clearances should be. On the intake side, it should be 0.12 millimeters plus or minus 0.03 millimeters. And then on the exhaust side, it should be 0.28 millimeters plus or minus 0.03 millimeters. So what that means is on the intake side, it needs to be 0.09 to 0.15. So plus or minus 0.03 millimeters. And then on the exhaust side, it should be 0.25 to 0.31. So those are the ranges we need to be in for the intake clearances and the exhaust clearances. So I'll start off checking the exhaust first. I'm looking for 0.25 to 0.31 millimeters, and I'll start out with a 0.25. 0.25 fits on this side. Let's move up one. Let's try 0.28. .28 fits. So let's try 0.30. 0.30 fits, but it's way too tight. So I'm gonna call that about 0.28 or 0.29. Let's check the exhaust on the other side. So I've already got 0.30 out here, so I'll try that one first. 0.30 fits on this side. The next one up in my gauge is 0.33. Let's try 0.33. 0.33 just barely fits. It's a little tight. It's a little over, but I'm not really concerned too much about that because these valves typically tend to get tighter over time. Let's check a 0.35. Okay, 0.35 definitely doesn't fit. So this one is somewhere in the 0.32, 0.33 range. Next, we'll check the intake valves. And the valves are located directly under these intake cam loops. The valve buckets are located directly underneath there. So we're going to need to measure the clearance between these cam lobes and the bucket that sits just underneath it. We're looking for 0.09 to 0.15 millimeters. So let's try 0.09 first. 0.09 fits on that side. 0.09 fits on that side. So let's go to 0.10. So 0.10 is tight, relatively tight. That feels about right. On that side, 0.10 is still pretty loose over here. So my next measurement is 0.13. 0.13 does not fit over there on the left side. So the left side intake is going to be 0.10. And the right side intake, let's see, doesn't really fit, although so 0.10 was more loose over here, but 0.13 does not fit, so I'm going to call that 0.11 and 0.10. So the exhaust valve on the left side is 0.28, which is dead on the spec. The exhaust valve on the right side is 0.33, which is a little bit outside of the spec, but I'm going to keep a watch on that. On the intake valves, the intake left side is 0.10, intake right side is 0.11. So those are on the lower side of the spec. Both are lower than the 0.12, but they're within the plus or minus 0.03 millimeters. So we're okay there, but we're probably headed for a shim adjustment on all of these. So I'm gonna go ahead and order a shim kit. And that'll be in a future video for doing the adjustments on the valves. Looks dry, nothing's leaking. I think we're all set. So I hope this video helped you out, and if so, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.